Good morning, dear students. As you know, due to the weather has changed and DM has ordered for this chilled weather to remain at your home. So, students, while remaining at your home, be safe, and we teachers are working from the school for your revision so that while staying at your home, you might not miss your classes. So, student, today I am going to re-explain chapter 10, lesson 10, transportation in animal and plants. Student, as you know, I am little bit injured. Then also I am trying my best to explain, revise this chapter, transportation in animal and plants. So student, first of all, you know very well, I am a science teacher, DPS sir. And now let me explain you about this topic, transportation. What do you mean by transportation? Means if any object is carried from one place to other place, this is called the transportation. This transportation is taking place outside in our world as well as in the body of animal, human being, plants also. So, what the relation of transportation in the animal? What the meaning of transportation in animals? So, students, you know very well that whatsoever we are eating, we are taking it through our mouth and is going towards the stomach. From there, it is getting digested. After digestion, that food releases energy. That energy is again carried by the blood. There is also transportation, and that energy is given to each and every cells of our body. So here is also you can see there is a transportation work as well as the waste material after the remaining of the undigested food, that is also ejected, thrown out from our body. There is also a transportation work. So you have seen by giving certain examples, I have explained to you that transportation also take place in animals, and further I will also explain about the plant also. First, let us know about the animals. So, student, you know very well that transportation, the materials in the animals, just for one system that is called the circulatory system. So, student, blood, which is in form of fluid, which is present in our body, which helps in carrying the released energy from the food to various parts of the body, organs, and cells related to those organs. That's why blood is the system is called the circulatory system, blood circulatory system, because anything to transport from one part of our body to another, our body needs takes the help of the blood. And now just take a glance of the blood. What is blood? Blood is a fluid connective tissue which is present in animals and human beings. Okay, so blood is made up of three different types of cells. According to the standard, it is made up of three different cells, that is the RBC cells, that means red blood cells, WBC cells, that is white blood cells, and platelets. These are the components. Okay, next student, I want to explain you about just a minute. So student, as you know, our blood is in liquid form. It's because of only the plasma present in the blood which makes the blood in liquid form, and rest the cells that I have just explained you, RBC, WBC and platelets are present in the blood, and the plasma helps the blood to be in the liquid form. Next student, I have already told you about the blood, that blood helps in carrying the food, you can say energy released from the food, as well as while respiration, the oxygen which we take, the oxygen from the lungs is also carried by the blood. It gets mixed with the blood. Now, what is there in the blood that helps in mixing of the oxygen? A pigment, a thing that is, you can say, hemoglobin. Okay, just like you know in photosynthesis, chlorophyll is the pigment that can trap the solar energy for preparing the food. Same case here also you can see hemoglobin takes the oxygen in the blood and mixes in the blood and carries the oxygen to different part of the body, organs and the cells. So student, next of all, plasma, I have told you. Blood, near about 5 to 6 liters of average blood is present in a human body. Lymph, now let's talk about the lymph. Lymph is also present in the blood, that is also in fluid form, which helps to protect the body from the germs and infections. Now I have told that RBC cells, this RBC cells is formed in the bone marrow, and the life of one RBC cell is 120 days. So within this RBCs, hemoglobin is present that takes the oxygen from the lungs and helps in carrying and transporting to different cells. Now WBC, that is called the white blood cells, it is inside, it is bigger than RBC, and the function of WBC cells, it protects the body from various types of germs and infections. And next student, platelets. The third cells which is present in our blood is platelet. So the platelet, what the function of platelet? Platelet helps to clot the blood. It's very important, students, that suppose that if there is a platelets, the number of platelet is less in your blood cells, in your blood, and if you got some cut in your body, then the blood will not stop, because the blood will not convert and solidify, means it will not clot, and as it will not clot, the blood will remain flowing from that cut part. So this platelet helps to clot the blood. Now student, let me tell you about the blood vessels. It's okay, I have told you about the blood. Now the passage through which the blood circulate in our body, there are three different types of system. You can say vessels that help the blood to transport. The first is that you can say arteries, veins, and capillaries. There are three types of blood vessels present in animal body as well as in human being also. Now about the arteries. Arteries are the thick walled vessel through which oxygenated blood is passed. It is thick walled as because the heart pumps the blood, and the blood and the oxygenated blood which is under heavy pressure, and that pressure could only be tolerated by a thick walled blood vessels, that is called the arteries. Student, do you know what would have might happen if the oxygenated blood which is under pressure when comes out from the heart, if instead of arteries there would be veins, then what would happen? First let me tell that veins has a got thin walled, it is a thin walled vessels. It's not so strong that it could bear the pressure of the blood that is coming out from the. So student, arteries, that's why arteries carries could able to carry the oxygenated blood which flows under a very heavy pressure, because the wall of the arteries is thick enough to bear the pressure of that oxygenated blood. Next to it, veins. This is thin walled vessels that carries the blood towards the heart, and this veins wall is thin, so the blood which is flowing through these veins is not under pressure. Next is the student capillaries. Capillaries, you can say, a third type of vessels which is a junction point between the arteries and veins, where exchanges could be possible. Wherever the exchanges from inside the blood to outside or outside the blood from inside, as well as the transfer of the blood from the arteries to the veins. Between them, one side is suppose the arteries, another side is veins, and between them is the junction which is called the capillaries that helps to transfer the blood. So there are three types of veins. There are three types of blood vessels. That is the arteries, veins, and capillaries. Now, student, let's further speak about the heart. So, student, I think I have already explained about the this topic. Just I am doing the revision to just memorize you all those things that have been taught in the class. So, student, I am talking about the heart. Heart, human heart has got four chamber. That is the right auricle, right ventricle. That is the auricle is the upper side and ventricle are the lower side. The heart, first of all, it is, you can say, near about closed fist side. The heart is present, a little bit tilted towards the left side at the center of the heart on the chest, and the heart has got four chambers. The upper chamber are called the auricle and the lower chamber are called the ventricles. So the right side is called right auricle and the left side is called the left auricle. Same way, the below the auricle is the ventricle, that is called the right ventricle, and below the left auricle there is a left ventricles. So I have told you about the heart. The heart has got four chamber, okay, and I have told you right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. Now the blood comes, enters the heart, the oxygenated blood by carrying the oxygen from the lungs. It enters to the left side of the body, sorry, not body, the left side of the heart, that is left auricle. The left auricle pumps the blood and throws to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, the blood under heavy pressure, when the left ventricle pumps, that blood under heavy pressure, under heavy force, goes out through the vessel that is called the arteries, and it reaches to every cells. And while this blood transports, while this blood flows inside our body through our vessels, they also do the function of giving energy as well as oxygen to each and every cells in our body. Again, I remind you, student, this is the transport system which is happening in our body. And at the same moment, the deoxygenated blood which enters through the right side of the blood, that pumps from the right auricle, goes to the right ventricle, through the right ventricle comes out and gives its carbon dioxide, releases the carbon dioxide in the lungs, takes the oxygen, and again enters through the left auricle. So student, this is the function of the heart. Heart pumps the blood and it releases the blood through the vessels, so that these bloods which carries the energy as well as oxygen, it could reach to every cells present in our body, giving them necessary essential nutrients to every cells. Now student, let's talk about the heartbeat. As you know, when the auricle pumps, the blood is thrown towards the lower chamber, that is called the ventricle, and when the ventricle pumps, the blood is thrown through arteries and to rest part of the body. So first, I want to say that the heart rhythmic pump, that you can say heartbeat, could be heard by an instrument called stethoscope. Stethoscope is an instrument by which you can listen the heartbeat. A normal human heartbeat is about 72 times per minute. Now, it could also be changed according to the age, according to your work. If you are doing some heavy work, then or you are doing some jogging or running, doing some exercise, then at that moment it's not that 72 times per minute will be same. There will be increase in number of the heartbeat in that conditions. Next student, pulse rate. As pulse is the throbbing of the pulse, as the heart pumps the blood, at the same moment the blood enters the pulse and the pulse just throbbing, due to throbbing effect. And near about the heart beat per minute is similar to the pulse rate per minute. In 1 minute, how much time the pulse beat is called the pulse rate. Now student, let's talk about the blood transfusion. What is blood transfusion? Sometimes it happens that there is a shortage of blood in the body. What the average requirement of the body, that is 5 to 6 liter of blood. If there might be any shortage of the blood, then at that conditions there is a requirement of transfusion of blood from either by from same blood group from taking from the blood bank, and just putting the blood in the that body who is there is a requirement of the blood. or transfer of some healthy same person, same group, not same person, same blood group person blood to the that body. Now I want to say that there are basically four types of blood groups basically, that is A, AB, B and O. Student, blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB and blood group O. Basically there are four. Now blood group O is called the universal donor. The O blood group could be given to A group blood person also, to B group person also, to AB also, as well as to O. Okay, but the O group blood person can only take O group blood, not any other. He cannot accept in any other blood group. Now, blood group AB blood group is called the universal recipient. Means the person who has got blood group AB in his body, the person whose blood is A group, his blood could also be given to him. B group blood could also be transfused to him. O also, as well as AB also. That means this AB could take the blood from A also, B also, AB as well as O also. That's why it's called the universal recipient. Okay, student. Next is that my next topic is about the one more topic. While doing the transfusion work of the blood, if suppose an unhealthy person, there's a requirement of blood, that blood is given either from the same group blood person or from the blood bank. Now there are few precautions while transferring the blood. Is that first, the blood of that person whose we are going to transfuse must be checked, the blood is of same group or not. Next, the blood is infected from any virus or not. These all things we must take care while doing the transfusion of the blood. Okay, students. So today I have explained up to the transfusion. In my next class, I will explain about the excretion in animals. Okay, student. Thank you. Have a nice day.